They're part of a worldwide network helping people become homeowners and building their own home. We talk to Habitat for Humanity of Eastern Connecticut about how they're helping our region. Plus, we take a look at other stories making the headlines from around the region. This is Connecticut East This Week. Hello, I'm Brian Scott Smith. The ability to own your own home is not always within everyone's reach or financial ability, but for almost 50 years now, Habitat for Humanity has been helping to make people's dreams of home ownership a reality. More than 62 million people in countries around the world are building their futures on their terms because of Habitat. And closer to home here in Eastern Connecticut, that dream of home ownership has been happening since 1987 and has provided homes that have helped 110 local families achieve their dream of being homeowners. I caught up with Sarah Luffler, Executive Director at Habitat for Humanity of Eastern Connecticut recently to find out more about them and their home building projects that are springing up across our region. Sarah, ever so many thanks for being on the podcast. People have heard about Habitat for Humanity. It's been around for a long time. But talk to us about Habitat for Humanity of Eastern Connecticut, because you've only been around since, about 1987? Because didn't you merge? Talk to us about the history.
So in 1987, Habitat for Humanity of Southeastern Connecticut was established, home base here in New London. And over time, in the 2016 to 2019 timeframe, we merged with volunteer affiliates that were located in northeastern Connecticut and Windham County. So what we have today is a Habitat for Humanity of Eastern Connecticut that covers New London, Windham, and half of Tolland County.
That's a big area.
Mm-hmm. Geographically the largest in the state, fourth largest population-wise, but for habitats we cover the most geographical space.
It's a short history, as against, as I say, the rest of the organisation, but you've done a lot in that time. Just give us a bit of a sense of how many homes maybe you've done in that time.
So combined, we've renovated or built from scratch 111 homes. We've worked with over 125 families, some of them who have moved on, and we were able to recycle their home to another Habitat family, which is why there's more families than homes. And we operate 2 restores in our service area as well, one in Plainfield and one in Waterford.
Talk to us about those, because I don't know if people are probably aware of that, because I know I wasn't until fairly recently, but they are great places to go to. And not only do they have a wide range of stuff, which you're going to talk about in just a moment, you give discounts as well.
Yes, the restore is when you walk through the door in one of our restores, everything that you see before you is donated. Every item, whether it's in a package or, a coffee table, has been donated either by a business or an individual. I love that, and that blows me away when I think about it that way when I walk in. It's a licensed secondhand furniture dealer, so depending on which store you visit, you can find a variety of items for your home, from furniture to tools to lawnmowers and things that you need outside, seasonal items, patio furniture, appliances, pipe fittings. I mean, kind of a little bit of everything except for kitchen tools, things that touch food, things like that.
You also do paint as well, don't you? That's an expensive thing if you want to redecorate your home, but you do a really good line in paint.
We do. We have paint. We have spray paint. We have really, and here's the trick about the restore, it's kind of a sport because we never know what's coming. So we don't have a back room with an inventory, a pricing system that keeps track of all of the things that we've sold and that we've taken in. It's complete luck. We do usually have paint. We usually have a lot of tile is another thing that we carry fairly frequently, always. Plush furniture, couches, love seats, things like that you'll pretty much always find at the store.
I sort of liken you to home goods, and the reason I liken you to home goods is because their sort of models a bit similar to yours. Mm-hmm. It's like buy it now or it may not be here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, and Wednesdays are 25% off.
Which is huge.
Both stores. So, our donation days, we bring in donations in Plainfield every 2 weeks from we'll come and pick up donations. You can sign up on our website. If you are cleaning out, spring cleaning, or moving and need to get rid of some furniture, we'll come pick it up from you. So you can schedule that on the website. So again, outside of pickup with us, we really don't know what's coming. Lowe's has been wonderful. The Lowe's Distribution Center and local Lowe's locations donate a lot of seasonal things that when they're switching their displays or items that they're not going to sell anymore, that we get brand new. So
yeah, because I've seen all sorts of things. Because I visited the Plainfield store, which is superb and great space, and I think even saw some like Christmas lights and seasonal lights in there as well. So again, really is incumbent upon the individual to keep going, visit, see what's there, because there's just an absolute gift of goodies sort of available, and as you say, a combination of new, gently used, etc., and at prices where, let's face it, we're all trying to like save a few dollars and cents at the moment, so it just makes absolute sense to go there. And of course, all proceeds go to the rest of the mission, which is of course building homes.
Building homes, everything goes towards that.
Talk to us about that, because again, that is something that of course Habitat for Humanity is famous for. You've got some big projects coming up. We're going to talk about a really big one in a moment, which is in Ledyard. But just recently, and I covered this as a news story, you are building 2 homes in Norwich. Got the money from the city, I believe, or the money's, somehow sort of like cities, so like the city is helping out. But also another organisation, TVCCA, is involved in that. So talk to us about that, because that's like a bit of a multi-agency thing.
It definitely is a partnership that involves multiple agencies, including the city. It starts with ARPA funds. It starts with Recovery Act funds that Norwich assigned to Habitat for what will end up being 14 homes total. And the homes that TVCCA is partnering with us on are, I believe, 12 and 13. Numbers 12 and 13 of 14 homes. So TVCCA is celebrating a milestone anniversary. And to do so, they wanted to do a year-long celebration in the community of giving back. And they thought, and we thought, that this was a perfect marriage of community service by their staff at this particular building, so that at the end of this project, they can say, that's the house that TVCCA built. And so that's what we're calling it. And it's a legacy project for them. And we're thrilled to have the hands. All Habitat homes, everything that we do really is made possible by volunteers. From here in the office to at the restores to definitely 110% the iconic vision of volunteers being at our build sites.
And also that particular Norwich site, those 2 homes, they're being built on a site that hasn't had any property on it for 40 years. It's going to change that area.
The city of Norwich donated those lots, so they had been vacant for 40 years, as you say. There was a residence on it that came down in the late 70s. So for that whole time, it's been a mass of scraggly trees and things like that, and it really is a hole kind of in the neighborhood. When we cleared it, we realized when you look to your left and you look to your right, there are all of these homes, and we love to put Habitat families in established neighborhoods so that they can, meet all different kinds of people and make friends with their neighbors. And hopefully the neighbors will come over and get involved in that project. But yeah, that lot hadn't been utilized by anyone in a very long time.
So let's talk about the other bigger projects still in Ledyard. Talk to us about what's going to get involved in that, because is that one of your biggest to date?
It is the largest to date, and one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Habitat build in Connecticut that I'm aware of. 38 homes in total at the bottom of Colby Drive, which is currently a cul-de-sac. We will connect through what are currently woods to Colonel Ledyard Highway, right at the Salty Heifer. It's our driveway. So we're really excited about this project because not everyone who applies for Habitat, not all the families are the same size. You can't just build 3-bed, bath-and-a-half houses and expect to be able to service everyone. So this particular neighborhood is going to be a combination of single-family homes and multifamily homes, 2, 3, or 4-bedroom homes. So we have a bit of a mixture going on that will hopefully help us cater to a wide variety of households. First floor bedrooms, ADA access, so we're going to be able to really accommodate, like I said, every kind of shape, size that you can imagine.
In a way, you're sort of, I suppose, creating a new little neighborhood there.
100%, and that's what we want to do. We want to build a community. This will have bus stops and sidewalks and green space and places to meet your neighbors and to ride your bike and to do all of those things in a really pretty environment. Off of a main road, but not on a main road. It's connected. Ledyard is going through this series of projects to increase their connectivity from their high school to their center of town. And our neighborhood falls right in the middle. It's right on a multi-use path that they've put in for recreational use, for biking, walking, those kinds of on your feet activities. And this, we're right in there where we will come right into that pathway as well.
Talk to us about some of the challenges that not just you but other non-profits are facing, but in particular, with regards to building homes, they are critically needed here in the state. I mean, everybody knows that, and affordable homes as well, which is something which, of course, Habitat for Humanity excels in. But there's still challenges, I'm sure, for you, because there's supply chain, there's the cost. I mean, you've only got limited funds at the end of the day. So how do you make that all stretch?
It is difficult, but the good news is there's a lot of folks that want to help. We desperately need homeownership opportunities for, in many cases, families who are renting, whose costs might be lower owning through Habitat or another organization like ours, like Hope Inc. So, the volunteers are the first way that we're able to make all of this happen, because they really do a lot of the heavy lifting as far as the construction is concerned. We have to find partners for land acquisition. So we talked about Norwich donating those lots for us. All of our lots right now that we're working on were donated. Even the Ledyard 13 acres, that was donated.
Which is huge, because otherwise to buy that would be very pricey.
It would be. But what we've learned is readily buildable lots are not frequently donated. So there's challenges with every lot. The one that we visited in Norwich, we just spent a week blasting rocks. So we're learning to do things. We're meeting partners that will help us. And then the volunteers and donations to the Restore help us keep costs down. That's how we're able to build homes affordably. Inevitably, it's always going to be expensive to build a home. We have a mortgage program that offsets that cost so that the homeowner won't feel the impact. We will absorb the remainder of the costs if the homeowner stays in the home and pays off the principal mortgage. That extra cost gets forgiven. So as much help as we can get from organizations like TVCCA, Riverhead Building Supply is sponsoring a home in North Stonington right now. Smaller groups that come out and will give us donations as they build, and funding that we apply for, grants and things like that.
Now, the homes obviously are available, but not to everybody. I mean, there's certain income requirements, of course, because you can't just go selling your homes off to everyone, because there's plenty of people out there who would want them, but, there's more people who critically need them. Women and veterans are two areas which you sort of serve as well. But just talk to us generally about, what is the income levels and the people that Habitat for Humanity homes sort of really try to target?
Basically, the easiest way to describe it is if you qualify for a market rate loan, you're not going to qualify for Habitat. So we want to help hardworking families that are between 40 and 80% of the area median income, which for this county is $107,000 a year. So 40% of that to 80% of that. That's the household income, and it will vary with however many folks are in your household, and we use the HUD scale for that if you wanted to see exactly where you fell.
So we're talking about lower income families, because, as you said, they're probably paying rent, and let's face it, rent is not cheap in Connecticut, and, being able to put some sweat equity into their home, and if they qualify, what do they say to you? As you said, you've done over 100 homes in the short history for Habitat for Eastern Connecticut. What do these families say when they, get told by you guys, you've been approved, now get your hard hat on and help out? Just talk us through that, because they must be overjoyed.
We've recently welcomed 3 families to our program within the last 10 days. And the word blessing comes around quite a bit. It's a lot of work. Our prospective homeowners put in a lot of work. It's not easy to buy a home. So to be able to go through the entire process of getting all your financials together and your credit scores and getting everything in order and turning it in and getting that phone call, it's wonderful to work with people who are excited. It's wonderful to work with people who can see their future in that home. And it's just a picture on a piece of paper in many cases. These homes aren't built. But they go and they check out where it will be, and they envision their family in that neighborhood and their children in those schools and how they're going to, where the grocery store is and what daily life might be like. And so right now, it's kind of over the moon. And the process takes 12 to 18 months. There's a lot of hard work ahead. This is the really fun part. This and the end. The beginning and the end are always fun.
It must be great to be able to have a home like that and say, ultimately, I built it, I helped to build it, because there's nothing greater than knowing that you had a hand in creating something like that, and then to be able to live in it and know where every screw and all sorts of things, went into it. I mean, it's an incredible experience, I'm sure, for people.
Each house tells its own story because everyone who volunteers, if there's a surface that they can write on, particularly once we put the wood, the framing up, signs it. So every group, and by group I mean different businesses who want to spend a staff bonding day out in the field or do some community service. Families, we do women's builds, we do veterans builds, we do pride builds, my family has built. And, so really any group that can get on the schedule writes a message. Good luck from so-and-so, or, God save this home, protect this home. They'll write psalms and haiku. So there's a story behind every wall. And very likely there's a story in every room from some finish or a paint job or, someone went home with a shirt that they won't be able to wear again, or, there's a story to it. For the homeowners, on a daily level, they know what's behind those walls. They know that, this could be leaking because I know that this is this wall and this is behind it. So it's really good for them to have that opportunity. But I'm willing to bet that all of our homeowners can look at something that was installed and either say, I did that, or I remember who did that.
And we should make it clear as well, of course, that when these volunteers are helping to build their homes, or if it's not their home but other volunteers, they are under the very, very careful supervision of highly skilled members of Habitat staff who have got years of experience in building. So we just want to make that absolutely clear, that nobody's using a circular saw without having first been told how to use it and all the safety that goes behind it, correct?
Appreciate that. Yes, that's 100% correct. All of our projects have staff foremen, and all of those volunteer activities are planned out in advance along the build schedule. We know what's coming and we know what to assign to groups. And
even yourself. I mean, people like yourself get involved as well, don't you?
I've been out there
picking up a hammer and banging some nails.
Yes. The last time I was participating in a build, my job was to seal. We were caulking the plywood and the 2x4s just to make sure we want to build homes that are energy efficient. We don't want homeowners to ever have high energy bills. And so we caulk every crevice. I got made fun of quite a bit, actually, for the number of gloves that I went through.
Of course, yes.
You're wasting our supplies, Sarah.
Trying to get that cork in that perfect line. Yeah, that's a difficult. I don't envy you that. I've done that in the past, and that is not an easy thing to do, to get it perfect. And then, of course, you go slightly off, and it's like, oh no, it's gone wrong. And then you want to try and correct it. And so I totally get you on that. If there's anybody out there listening who wants to apply for a Habitat for Humanity Eastern Connecticut home, how do they do that?
So the first person that they're going to want to talk to is Dwayne. And Dwayne is here at our office, and he is our homeowner expert. But there's a pre-application packet that you can pick up that gives you all the information that you need, basic information for us to just take a quick look and say, okay, we think you might be ready for an application, or we recommend going to Financial University. So once we figure out your path, we have volunteers that help support you along your journey, both through trying to get to the application process And once you've turned in your application and been approved, they walk you through the homeownership program. So there's two different sides of our program.
So basically, there's a lot of help from you guys as well. So they're not alone is what we're saying here, is that once they get that pack and they start the process, you're here to talk them through it if necessary and obviously help them through that process.
100%. We don't just sell homes. That's not what we're about. We want folks to succeed. This is about generational wealth. This is about building for your family. This is about creating opportunities for your kids and your grandkids, and hopefully giving back to help create those opportunities for others.
Now, another thing that we should make clear as well, I noticed on the website, Habitat for Humanity is a Christian non-profit. It doesn't matter what your faith is. You can be of any faith. So we just wanted to make that clear as well, because people may see that and think, well, I'm not Christian. Does that mean I can't get a home? The answer is no. You can get a home still.
That's correct. And we honor everyone's beliefs in the dedication ceremony. You can invite your person of faith to the ceremony. We will honor all of the things that make each of us unique throughout the building process. And, every family has a different need for a different reason. And it might be cultural, and it might be religious, or, it might be a physical need. And we'll make sure that we honor those.
Sarah, it's been great talking to you. The fact that this work continues, that your organisation and the other Habitat for Humanities are there for everybody is just incredible. And obviously here in Eastern Connecticut, we know so desperately how many homes that we need. And obviously those great new homes are being built by, as I say, this organisation. And thanks for talking us through it. And thanks for letting us know about, all the good work that you're doing and the homes that will become available.
I would encourage folks to follow us on Facebook as well, from volunteer opportunities to project updates to what's going to be on sale at the Restore this week.
Oh, absolutely.
While it lasts.
Absolutely. Yeah, get your Restore deal as well. Thanks ever so much for giving us your time today, and thanks for being on the podcast.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
And if you want to see if you're eligible for a Habitat for Humanity of Eastern Connecticut home, or want to volunteer, donate, attend one of their upcoming events, or provide items for their restores in Waterford and Plainfield, then visit their website at habitatect.org.
The more you listen to your kids, the closer you'll be. So we asked kids, what do you want your parents to hear?
I feel sometimes that I'm not listened to. I would just want you to listen to me more often and evaluate situations with me and lead me towards success.
Listening is a form of love. Find resources to help you support your kids and their emotional well-being at sounditouttogether.org. That's sounditouttogether.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and Pivotal.
Time now for a look at other stories making the headlines this week. Connecticut's Summer Meals program reached a record number of children, but local leaders warn of an impending food crisis. Catherine Carley from the Public News Service has this report.
It's estimated federal cuts to school nutrition programs could leave more than 12,000 students statewide without access to free or reduced price school meals. East Hartford Mayor Connor Martin says it's the government's responsibility to ensure families' most basic needs are met.
We're here to improve people's quality of life. And if people can't even get a meal during the day, or a kid can't even get a meal, what kind of path are we setting them on?
Martin says growing food insecurity led to the recent opening of the first town-operated food pantry at the East Hartford Community Center. State lawmakers significantly increased funding for food pantries during the most recent legislative session, but local leaders say it still won't be enough to make up for federal spending cuts. This story was produced with original reporting by Carla Ciaglo with Connecticut News Junkie. I'm Catherine Carley.
Governor Lamont released $7.7 million of state funding recently to the U.S. subbase in New London for infrastructure projects. Lamont said the funding is part of Connecticut's ongoing investment, demonstrating its commitment to Navy operations here in the state.
When there was a threat that they were going to yank this base out of this region back during the BRAC deliberations 25 years ago, Connecticut stepped forward and mobilized. As you just heard from the captain, this is 6,000 jobs, lots of contractors doing work here all the time, a big piece of our economy, a big piece of our future. Having EB next door is part of the synergy here. It means a lot to the state. We also want to do it because it's the right thing to do.
Captain Ken Curtin is the commanding officer of the subbase and said state investments help add to their budget from the Department of Defense.
Add up all the different projects, just like our home budgets typically, some of those projects exceed what you get annually. And so that's where the state steps in to help and try and offset some of that. Could we execute the mission for a few more years without replacing these right now? Yes. Would it be as efficient and as effective? No. So by the state coming in and helping to support our ability here, it makes me more efficient and more effective in a more timely manner.
The money will go towards 2 projects at the subbase. One will be to replace floating docks for the base's security craft, and the other to replace a boat ramp for getting boats in and out of the water. Since 2009, the state has invested almost $23 million in the subbase for various infrastructure projects. Electric Boat marked its second Columbia-class ballistic missile submarine, the USS Wisconsin, with a keel-laying ceremony recently at the company's Quonset Point facility in Rhode Island. Mark Rea is the president of Electric Boat and said the company is currently undertaking something unique in its long history.
Electric Boat is celebrating 126 years of shipbuilding this year and getting better at it every day. Right now, we're doing something that has never been done, building 2 classes of submarines simultaneously in modular construction. It sounds easy, it's not. And the shipbuilders here at Electric Boat, Newport News, and around the country are doing something that we should all be proud of and appreciate.
Rea was referring to the company's 2 classes of submarine, the Columbia class being a strategic defense priority for the U.S. and their Virginia class of fast attack submarines. Rea said other than their Groton and Quonset Point shipyards, the company also has a history with the state of Wisconsin and its shipyards.
During World War II, along with managing its own shipyards, EB also supervised the construction of 28 submarines in Wisconsin's Manitowoc Shipbuilding Company, located on Lake Michigan. They slid these boats sideways into the water. It went from there, it flowed its way through Chicago to the Mississippi River, where it made its way out, and then made its way to Groton for final assembly and test. You think about that path that it took to get it there. Pretty remarkable.
If all goes to plan, the new USS Wisconsin will be built and christened by 2029 and then commissioned into the U.S. Navy during fiscal year 2031. Conservation groups say the proposed removal of the federal roadless rule could open pristine areas within New England's forests to commercial logging. Here's Catherine Carley again from the Public News Service.
The Trump administration has directed agencies to find ways to bypass environmental protections on public lands in order to increase timber production by 25%. Sarah Adlew with the Old Growth Forest Network says building roads in national forests will damage wildlife habitat, important water resources, and outdoor recreation.
With the biodiversity issues and climate crisis, we are in no position to be opening up our forests for even more damage on our environment.
Federal officials say the rules removal will help land managers better protect communities from wildfires, but studies show most wildfires ignite within 50 yards of a road. A shortened 3-week public comment period on the proposed policy change runs through September 19th. I'm Catherine Carley.
And Eastern Connecticut State University is launching a new program in the fall to spur local businesses in Willimantic by encouraging students to explore the town. A new Eastern passport will offer students discounts at many local shops and restaurants, and at the end of the semester, students can turn in their passports to be entered into a raffle. Students can earn rewards on everything from tacos to sunglasses, and Chris McNabo, chair of the Willimantic Downtown Neighborhood Association, said he hopes the program will not only support local businesses, but help the students feel more connected to the place where they live, learn, and hopefully stay for years to come. That's all from us for this edition. Do send us your questions and story ideas to the show via our website at connecticut-east.com or Facebook or Twitter at Connecticut East and on Instagram at Connecticut East This Week. And you can listen to the show again on our social platforms, on demand, and by asking your smart speaker to play Connecticut East This Week podcast. And please like, follow, and share on your social media too. I'm Brian Scott Smith. Thank you for listening.